What's going on, guys? As we talked about with the MMA content, we are super pleased today to be joined by Dada 5000. He's going to be the co-main event at Bellator 149 against Kimbo Slice. First of all, thank you for coming on to talk to us. You know, the Gracie Shamrock fight has some history to it, but you and Kimbo, it's more personal than most fights. You grew up with him and his manager, Mike Imber. There's been some conflicting stories about how that relationship dissolved. You know, actually in the movie Dogfight, I think you had a lot of providence to back up things and how they went down. It's ironic to me after this fight was signed that Mike Ember came out to do an interview with Kimbo. You know, they said you weren't really his bodyguard, and they said Billy Corbin didn't do any due diligence on the film. Could you maybe respond to that?
Of course, Billy Corbin did an awesome job on the film. He documented and he reported on, what life is like, the side of Miami that they don't talk about, and by me being a subject, of the movie Dogfight, I shared my story, my experiences, growing up with Kevin Ferguson. We all know him as Kimbo Slice. I know him as Kevin Ferguson, the individual who stayed right up the street from me inside of a 2-bedroom apartment, upgraded to a 3-bedroom in the same complex, then moved across Franjo, inside of a 3-bedroom before he moved up, north. So I went to school with this guy, same school bus, same everything. So, it behooves me to the point that these individuals try to downplay the scenario, like I wasn't who I said I was. Matter of fact, he been knew me because we growed up together. So to make a long story short on that note, they came and got me. I was there from day one, and I served as more than just a bodyguard, and I wore multiple hats. And, Kimbo, his tongue doesn't come too accustomed, so he needs Michael Amber on every interview. He sits in on it, because he don't want Kimbo to make a bigger fool out of himself than he's already had. He's the first one to come out of the backyard. No one said that he's the best one to come out of the backyard. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I am. But at the end of the day, I'm a pillar of strength inside the community. All of these individuals, Michael Amber and Kimbo Slice, they're good for one or two things. That's fabricating stories and altering the truth for the betterment of their own good,
Absolutely. It's talking about, I'm seeing this build as an MMA fight, and with your styles, I see this more as like a stand and strike kind of match. I don't see either one of you wanting to take this to the ground. But that said, I think it says a lot about the same people on your card. Ken Shamrock, who was 51 years old, and even though he was unsuccessful, was able to get Kimbo into a submission. How do you see this going for you?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm coming to bang. I don't think there's nothing that he could do with me. I'm too strong for him. I asked individuals, hey, have you ever seen a gorilla in the octagon? They said no. I said me neither, but I guarantee you it ain't pretty. When I put my hands on this dude, I'm like the Roman gladiators of old. We don't go back. We go forward and side to side. The man on his left protects the man on his right. If you took a knife to the back, that means that you're a coward. You tried to run and hide. You tried to run and retreat. I'm going to knock this dude out in the front of the world. And if it was to go to the ground, that's going to be the biggest mistake because once I frustrate him, we all know what Kimbo Slice got. We all know he's so predictable. With me, he doesn't have anything to go on. He's looking at footage from years ago. So if he's judging me off of that footage, he's sadly mistaken, and he deserves to get knocked out. But the best part about it is this, Kimbo Slice. Look at it. You can't get knocked out by the hands of a more better man than Dada 5000.
Dada, you really seem to be a great promoter. Very successful with your BYB, your Battleship event, which I bought, the Dogfighter documentary, which we've talked about. Billy Corbin follows me on Twitter. Shout out to him. We know Kimbo was active in boxing, MMA, the Ultimate Fighter, but as Neil mentioned there, 51-year-old Ken Shamrock. Kimbo was fighting big names, but they weren't in the prime of their career. In fact, you look at Seth Petrozelli, he's a prime example of Kimbo facing a younger fighter that was in shape. And what happened was, obviously we all know the story. Ken gets hurt. Seth has to step up. He knocks Kimbo Slice out and Elite FC. Styles make fights. Rumor was they wanted Seth to stand up and trade. Do you think Kimbo has been fed fights in the past? He's fought anyone on your physical level? Do you see that?
Never, never. I'm over, not to cut you off, sir, but I'm over 600 pounds on the bench press. It's like a Rocky movie with Drago. Anything Dada 5000 hits, he destroys. When they look at the first two fights that I did, I knocked both of those guys out inside the first round. you know, and I was just a promoter in the backyard, but see, they had no type of response for blunt force trauma. You know, it's like this. They say Kimbo slices the bell, right? Okay, well, I'm going to keep him in my sights. Because I hit him with this left, with this right uppercut, I'm going to hibernate that guy for the rest of his life. The whole key to it is this. He fought individuals that's out of his prime. When you look at an individual like Ken Shamrock, do you think that, you know, if Ken would have had him in, certain things you don't forget, like a chokehold. Now, it could be that Ken's body is feverish, you know, but when you look at it, if this fight would have took place when it was supposed to take place, that would have been another loss on the Kimbo's, you know, name. And yes, I really feel that they have paid fights off. You know, I'm in the streets. You look around, I'm always there. You can look for that guy with a magnifying glass. He's never there. So it's like he said something to the extent, well, I stated, when I knock him out, I'm going to get him a pop. And I mean that. So he said, well, Dada 5000 still lives with his mom. I've been moved. You know what I'm saying, out the hood. I'm a 7-figure nigga. I move with the white folks. Not great. No one's going to argue the fact that you moved and in all rights you're supposed to. Because when you could do better, you upgrade the living situations. But we're not mad at the fact that you moved. The people in the streets is hot and disappointed at the fact that you never came back. Not even once. Not even to give back. Any time you ever came back, it was for your own personal, selfish good. You know,
and let me
you come through.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Let me just say, I mean, personally, I do respect Kimbo, what he's done. I respect a lot of what you've done because you have given back to your community from what I can see. And that's not to see that Kimbo hasn't. But like I said, what I've seen in the documentary, you've given back. You've given fighters an opportunity. You talked about it before. You've been a promoter. You know, that said, a lot of people don't like to respect that Kimbo is more than a street fighter. Okay, he is trained and disciplined in MMA. You know, I think a lot of people want to build that against him because, you know, they're ignorant. What would you say to somebody that sits there and looks at this and says it's just a glorified street fight?
I would say that they have no knowledge, you know what I'm saying, about what they're talking about. And they need to dig deeper and peel back the layers of onions. You know what I'm saying? And then they'll have a greater level of respect for what's actually going on. You know, Kimbo Slice, yes, he is trained in the arts of mixed martial arts. You know, I will say that you know, he let a lot of individuals down, and I'm just speaking because I'm the voice for the people. You know, for a guy to be, you know, 8-9 years inside the game, you know, everybody knows you get him on the ground, you know, he knows nothing. So for him to be training for 8 or 9 years and the only belt you have to date is the belt that you have to keep your pants up. You're not a black belt or blue belt. You're not none of those belts. So either you can't retain knowledge, you know what I'm saying, or you're not taking it serious. And if you don't take this fight serious, and you come into this ring with Dada 5000, come February 19th, I'm going to hurt him, and I'm going to hurt him really, really bad. I have an unconventional method. I can train for you. You can't train for me. You know, this is a title fight. You know, this fight is street certified. And the key to it is this right here. I've made a name for myself, you know, doing the marketing, doing the promotions. I've redefined the definition of extreme reality. I changed the perception of how people look at backyard brawls all over the world. And I really feel like I've gained more attention, more fame, more I've brought more awareness and educated the people more about the culture than anybody in the past 150, 200 years before me. They told me, they said, Dada 5000, you're making the biggest mistake of your life. This is Team Kimbo. I said, you know, I ask these individuals to this day, do they really still feel that I made the biggest mistake of my life? Because when people look at what I've done, or when people look at how could Kimbo go from a Ken Shamrock to a Dada 5000, what people don't understand is I won 2 Emmys on National Geographic. I went very big in Rolling Stones. I got the #1 movie out in America on Netflix. I went very big on CNN, NBC, ABC, CBS. You know, I worked on a commercial with Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino. So more video games with EA Sports, Tiger Woods, PGA 13 than any other video game that they've ever done. 1 million copies in the first week. You know, not to mention a whole bunch of other things that I've done. You know, so when people say, when I'm speaking like this, I'm not bragging. I'm just proud of my accomplishments because stuff like this doesn't happen to guys like me and where I come from. Again, I give back on multiple levels because I understand that in my community it's black on black crime and it's kids killing kids. So I understand that the importance of talking to them, telling them to put down the guns and pick up a book. Educate yourself because you can't change what you do until you change what you know. When you know better, you do better. Kimbo Slice, when he comes through the hood, he got on horse blinders. He's only looking one way like he's a tourist. With great powers come great responsibility. Spider-Man, he was given a responsibility that he failed to adhere to. And I'm going to be honest with you, the people in the community of Paran don't give a fuck about this guy like that. They only remember what you done for me lately. Come back, man. This is what we're doing, and me and my constituents. We're giving out thousands of turkeys on the 23rd. Toys for tots, toys for the kids, the underprivileged kids. I'm not doing this, to boost my name. I'm doing it because it needs to be done. It's a lot of work that needs to be done inside the city of Paran. And this is not just for Paran. It's for any and everybody that's a have-not, And these are things that I've been doing. So when the person say, who is this guy got up 5,000? Well, he may not be much, to those who just catch a win. But to my people, I'm larger than life, and that's all that matters.
You are speaking such humbling things right there. When you're talking about giving back to the community, what you're doing for people, it is absolutely stellar. And it's so far beyond this one match. It's so deep and so multi-layered. You talk about games. We're very invested in games and charities, like with Game Changer, where we're giving children who have issues dealing with cancer, giving back. And that's what it's about. It's about giving back to the community. So we've really delved into some deep stuff here. But regardless, let's go back to the fight. Regardless of the outcome, in all of your outreach, do you shake his hand at the end of this? Or do you shake his hand? Or does this end the feud? What does a post-relationship look like? What do you think?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. I don't have a problem with Kimbo Slice. He has a problem with me. Because this guy is he's really tried to stop me from getting here. My 2 fights, his 15 total in the man boxing. It's like, wow, did I just play a smarter game than he did? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say so. He's angry. See, I'm hungry. It's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I'm hungry. He's angry. I'm put together better than he is, mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally. So he has a problem. I don't have a problem with shaking his hand after he come out of ICU, just like I said at the Coca, it's no need, to find out how many people are coming with it. You don't need to get a head count because you don't need to book these individuals no rooms. You know what I'm saying? Houston Memorial Hospital giving beds out. So you don't need to book in no room. Straight from the fight, he's going to go get medical attention. He's going to need it. Now, after that, we can bury the hatchet. But he's angry because I got here. And nobody can say, if it wasn't, for me, Dada, you wouldn't have this. Or if it wasn't, that I done this, Dada, you wouldn't have that. I prided myself, gentlemen, on getting corporate America to take off their suits and ties and trade it in for baseball hats and tennis shoes to come on down to Centertown, Florida. They say Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus is the greatest show on earth. I have to beg to differ. The backyard is we sit more guys prone out of my grandmother's backyard than any of these dojo camps. They can't tell you the last time ESPN. Anything that we do, I'm getting calls from some of the biggest production companies on the planet, even right now. Anything that I do because people understand they deal with those that earn for them. And no disrespect to the legends. Ken Shamrock, who's a wonderful guy if you ask me. I haven't had a chance to chat with Gracie. But make no mistake about it, people are coming to see hands fly. And I'm definitely coming, to knock this guy out, I would love to do it standing up, but if he wants to take his chances on the ground, then I'm like, well, I don't know nothing on the ground. This is Kimbo Slice speaking, you guys, by the way. I don't know nothing on the ground, but, I feel comfortable with taking Dada on the ground. I'm going to overpower him, and I'm going to leave him right there. Fucked up for the world to see. And if they're plotting or planning on giving me a bribe, they could keep it. Because he's worth more to me knocked out in the front of the world on Bellator, 149. Max Mayfield down here in Miami, he can't even tell you the type of storm that Dada 5,000 is going to bring. The only thing that he had for the people of Houston, Texas was board up your doors, lock down your house. you know, because this right here, you know what I'm saying, is going to be historically bloody and epic. You know, I'm coming for business, you know, and once I go in and I damage this dude, you know, they ask me, are you one and done? What I want people to know is this. Kimbo Slice, he's fought guys. I could, you know, question the type of legitimacy of these individuals. Either he fought over the hill guys that was past their prime, or he fought guys he's been getting babied, you know, his whole career. Even if people don't want to speak about it, it's the truth. He has been getting babied his whole career. And when you're getting babied because you're a cash cow, and you still fucking up, and you're losing the fight that you're supposed to win, now, you know what I'm saying, that protection, that veil is off of you. You know, I know more about this guy than anybody who he's ever fucking fought. Anybody he's ever fucking fought. Because I knew him before he became Kimbo Slice. I knew him when he was just Kevin Ferguson. You know what I'm saying? When people look at, you know, Kimbo, they say, hey, he's a beast. You know, when I look at him, behind that ugly face with all that hair, you know, compressed around it, I look at a very, very scared and afraid child going into the ring with somebody that he knows for a fact he don't stand a chance against. You know, anybody could get lucky, you know, but I'm more athletic than him. I'm more mobile. I'm more aggressive. I hit the hurt. My chin is definitely better. You know, even though, you know, it's going to come down to who make the biggest mistake, but I don't see that, you know, because I'm coming straight at him, you know, and that's just it. Everybody run. He intimidates them. You can't scare me. I still stay in the same place that you abandoned, that you ran from the first chance you got. When the last time you seen somebody get hurt, Kimbo Slice? Shit, I seen a family get gunned down on Thanksgiving morning. This is the shit that still go on.
Jeez.
So at the end of the day, it's nothing. It's nothing that he could say that could scare me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm still here. This is why he don't stand a chance. He understands. Well, if the fight goes to the ground, hopefully the other one will let the other one listen. You got to lay down. This is a rap for you. He's never faced nobody, you know, like me before. Just how I ripped them telephone books and out, it's just what I'm going to do to his ass. So from me to Kimbo Slice, you know what I'm saying, this right here is what the fans wanted to see. Me personally, I really don't feel like he wanted to take this fight, you know, because he's definitely not in my best interest. He would not want to see me make the money that I'm going to make. He knows that, damn, man, shit, Dada could bust my ass. What if this nigga fuck around and beat me? It's over for him. That's what. This is his last contract on the Bellator. And listen, when I speak, I'm speaking because, you know what I'm saying, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that these guys lied to me, man. I was a part of their camp. I fought for them. I took a nasty hit because it was unorganized. You want to show bits and pieces of the hit? Show the fucking fight. Show how broke the guy nose, swole his eyes up. They had to walk him in the house like he was Stevie Wonder. Show the rest of the fight. Show the rest of the fight to the point that he slipped the punch, and I punched straight through a 2-inch wooden gate and snapped the boards in half. They didn't show none of that stuff because they didn't want me to show him up. It's the same fucking pressure that he's going to have to bear witness and stand in the front of on February 19th. Blood force trauma. And the only thing I wanted to know was listen, Mike, Kimbo, you know, I'm on y'all team. Y'all don't got to lie to me. Y'all don't got to set me up, you know. At least let me see the fight, you know what I'm saying, so I can see where I went wrong if y'all want to continue to let me do it. Not only did they never show me, you know what I'm saying, the footage so I could get better, you know, they kept doing snake-type stuff, man. These guys are not good guys at all. You know what I'm saying? Not good guys at all. They set their backyard fights up, and this right here is the truth. All of that shit was designed to make him look like this monster. When I did my backyard fights, I let the world see if you get knocked out, it ain't no altering that. You got knocked out. See, they kept, you know, control. So if Kimbo got knocked out or he took a nasty hit, like it was in one of those events, it never surfaced because they had total control over it. They would have never, because their heart is not like mine.
Let me ask you briefly about
Yeah.
Level. Level, for those of people who don't know, in my opinion, is one of the original out of the street MMA fighters, and this guy actually, in my opinion, made it at a higher level than Kimbo did. Recently, they came out and said that there was a fight that you were supposed to, you had backed out of these fights due to injuries. What is the actual story to that? Is that true? Were you supposed to fight him?
That's 100%. No, that's 100% false. I got Level on speed now. Level is my little homie. Level will tell you. Level is a street dude, you know, that was running with the Latin syndicates. Matter of fact, he led that notorious gang and still do to this day by some instance. So it's like Level was doing certain things that I told Level, I said, Level, you out here, I can make you into a star. It's when I got up with Level and I put Level aside, my organized shows, Level started blowing, man. The two Emmys that we won on Telemundo NBC was the filming that Casasado, Maria DePolo did with Level in my backyard. Level, it's a weight difference. I'm like 280, 290 plus. Level is 165 pounds. That's not true. This story is the truth, and I'll briefly tell you this. There's a gentleman named Kelly Session that was supposed to be a Billy Badass, a tough guy, inside the neighborhood. So I had a dude named Felix, and Michael Lambert and they had this dude named Convo. His name is Ray. Ray fought George Masvidal, who's inside of Strikeforce, now the UFC. Right? He fought George twice. So Felix was supposed to fight Convo. I'm supposed to be, you know, Kimbo's dumb boy. They're giving this guy Kelly Session 10 grand. 10 grand. So they said, hey, listen, this is how they wanted to play me. They wanted to get me there, you know, and pull the cameras out and have this dude try to punk me. So if I didn't fight, you know what I'm saying, then they put it out and they try to ruin me. But if I did, then they don't owe me nothing because no agreement was made. You know, I'm fighting off a general principle now. But I struck back and I'm like, whoa, because I'm no dummy. You know, God bless the dead bitch Sean. And I stated this. I said, Sean, dude, be straight with me, man. What's going on? He's like, Dada, you know what I'm saying, man, is you going or not? I said, nah, man, I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? You could take Felix, you know what I'm saying, but dog, this shit ain't adding up to me. What's going on? Give or take, about 30 minutes later, you know, I told him, I said, bro, if you take me somewhere, and this shit is a setup, you're going to get it too. I'm going to do the unexpected. Everybody going to fucking lay down. Nobody ain't going back home. And you can take that how you want it, Sean. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to ask you again, what's going on? He said, well, you ain't going to go? I said, nah. He said, well, you're not going because I said, you know, anything, right? And I said, no, dude, it's not making no sense to me. He said, Dada, it was a setup. They was going to get you there, and when they got you there, they was going to have to do Telly Session now. And Telly was going to try to punk you, and they was going to get you, you know what I'm saying, to fight. I said, Sean, you just saved your life. And I called Mike right then and there. I said, Mike, what's good? You know? He said, what's up, buddy? I said, listen, you know what I'm saying, with this shit going on tomorrow, y'all give me $2 grand to fight him, right? If I win by knockout, y'all give me another $500. I ain't worried about the 10 grand that y'all gonna get him. You know what I'm saying? But I'm your boy, but this is how little y'all think of me. He told me, I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm not doing that. That's the other third. I said, all right. You know, this is what they was trying to do to me. I didn't show up because I wasn't a dummy. So number one, you just excluded all forms of payment right then and there. So what am I going there for? To fight for free? No, and I'm your boy, and this is how you do me. So they ended up getting Level. You know what I'm saying? And Level win, and I don't know what they gave Level. You know, $800 or this, that, or the third. You know, this is what these guys do. Users. And even Level will tell you, Dada, I fought the best fight of my life against that guy. Level weighed 168 pounds. This guy wore 270. And Level, man, listen. Hey, the little homie, dude, how can I put it? Level in my eyesight and what the people, you know what I'm saying, on the streets later who got a chance to sneak peek at that, you know what I'm saying? It's like for Level to come in there 100 pounds lighter than this dude, Level won that fight. Level hit that dude with like three left hands back to back, broke the dude's jaw. But the dude was a tough dude. But when you got a guy, you know, 160 pounds that's standing toe to fucking toe with you, you didn't win that fight. I'm sorry, you know. But they told Level, we're going to give you a copy of the footage. That fight was years ago. Level, ex-Level, didn't Level get that footage yet. He still ain't get it. If it was up to Kimbo sliced them, Level wouldn't have made it. I kept the backyard going for all of those guys. They'll tell you that. All of them. It wouldn't be no Level if it wasn't for me bringing out the national, you know what I'm saying, attention for these guys. There wouldn't be no Chocolate, you know, who's on the front cover hitting the guy, you know, KO Mike. But none of these guys. They will all be forgotten. I've never been selfish. You know, not once, because I never made a dime off of none of this stuff. I did it because I understood. You know, the people inside my community, these guys, I can tell you what they got and I can tell you what they don't got. They got a criminal record. They got 2 stripes, working on the 3rd. They don't got a high school diploma. They don't got a skill. They don't got a trade. But they got their 2 hands and they got their heart. And they're willing to learn. And I get these corporate guys to come down and see these diamonds in the rough. And hopefully, just maybe, somebody will say, you got what it takes, and I'm willing to give you a chance. And that's what I do. That's payment enough, man, to see somebody take that game to the next level, opposed to take that game back to the penitentiary.
I think you said a lot of things there about giving back and giving opportunities and providing notoriety. I just want to say quickly, I think if it had not been for the documentary that you did, the stories, you know, like Chauncey and like Tree would have been lost. And to me, unfortunately, you know, because those gentlemen lost their lives, those became the most powerful statements that movie could have made. And I'm sure that you have, you know, unfortunately, countless other stories like that to tell. Are you glad that the Dogfight documentary got the publicity it did? Did you expect it to do that?
You know, I knew that it was going to be the realest, one of the realest films out, because when you look at movies these days, it's full of acting and, you know, and so forth like that. I was out in L.A. with George Lopez, you know, a while ago, and George told me, he was like, Dada, you know, man, this stuff is real. You know, I'm a fan, bro. You know, and all of these individuals that have watched this, when they see me, they come up to me, man, you know, and if it wasn't, you know, for this film, you know, documenting and recording on, you know, Tree and Chauncey's lives, not just them, individuals that was inside the audience, you know, that are no longer breathing, you know, it's like their story would have been, you know, lost, and they would have went down inside the pages as just two, you know, additional, you know, people in the community that got took out, you know what I'm saying, by the cops or by black-on-black crime. You know, these individuals, they were fighting for a better way, for a life, for their family, and for, you know what I'm saying, their loved ones, you know, and they all got took out because, you know, Tree, he would have been headlining on the next BYB card, you know, so would Chauncey, you know, so I really feel like, you know, man, Billy Corbin, you know, I thank him for coming on board, you know, taking a part in, you know, believing in what it is that I'm doing, you know, and, man, we came together and we collaborated with One for the Ages. This still has a lot of steam on it. This movie has been out now for like 7 months or so, and it's the #1 preferred with millions and millions and millions and millions of viewers, you know, views, and it's not showing no signs of slowing down, you know. And now, you know, I called Kimbo out on the first one, so now we're going to start the filming of Dogfight 2. So Dogfight 2 is going to be even bigger than Dogfight 1, you know, and we're going to show the next phase of evolution because I got my own fight league. BYB, that's Backyard Brawls Extreme Reality, Extreme Fighting Series. We're the gray area between MMA and boxing. MMA fighters fight in the octagon. You know, boxers and wrestlers fought inside the squared circle. You know, I have a $30,000 Trigon, you know, cage at my warehouse, and, you know, the 3M philosophy. You know what I'm saying? And to get inside there, is definitely designed to promote, confrontation. You gotta be mindful of more than just your opponent in the front of you, not letting your opponent gain position of dominance. Because you get caught inside that point, man, you're gonna feel like you're getting double teamed or something. So it's it's interesting. It's a new, fresh breath of air, to the fight game. We all know that MMA and boxing is political, and they asked me, Dada, are you one and done? If we could sit down and do, good business with Bellator, then that'll be awesome. Then Dada 5000, will return. Other than that, I'll continue working on my own fight league, and we're pure, MMA and boxing, it has a place in history, but I really feel that, history repeats itself because before the gloves were on, they were off. Jack Johnson, even, Royce Gracie and Ken Shamrock, was fighting inside the early days of UFC with no gloves, bare knuckles, so it's like history repeats itself. So I really feel like I'm in a lane of my own, and I'm going to continue to dominate. I got a lot of major, projects that's coming out. We're working on some big stuff, with situations like with the WWE, reality series, movies, and a lot of stuff, because most people don't know that this stuff is going on in 2015, 2016. They really feel like this stuff was like underground. But we're winning, we're number one, and we're exciting. BYB, we pack a punch with more explosions than a stick of TNT.
If you missed the first Battleship, you can go back. You can order that on your website. I actually, like I said, I had the privilege to watch it live. A very, compelling thing to watch. As you said, you really did get the gist that you were watching something historic and something that is going to probably grow, especially with the way that you talk about it, the passion you have for fighting. It's been an honor to have you on. I certainly want to have you back on again. I want to let you know we did speak to Legacy Flyweight champion Andrea Lee over the weekend. I don't know if you know her, but I want to close this out with you with the same question we asked her. If we can't catch up with you for a year and we have to sit back down with Dada 5000 next December, where are you going to be?
Oh, man, moonwalking on the stars, Hey, moonwalking on the stars for sure. Hey, listen, I think that I've done pretty well, with marketing. God bless me with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, being able to speak and promote myself. And I'll put people in the mind frame, to at least give me a chance, and I'll make you, into a believer. That's all I ask. It's for a person, to just give me an opportunity. Like I say, boxing and MMA, those are great sports, but give us a chance, and we'll make you guys into believers. This sport will be one of the biggest sports, BYB Extreme. We're real, we're raw, we're authentic. And you can't look at backyard fighting, or you can't mention backyard fighting, street fighting, underground fighting nowhere in the world if Dada 5000 name is not being mentioned. And I just want everybody to follow me, on Instagram at Dada 5000. Stay in tune, play by play, to my walk to the cage at Bellator 149 to make Kimbo slice, to slice, pound cake, you cut it in slices. He's going to be the new definition of pound cake. When you look at pound cake in the dictionary, his face is going to be there, So we're going to make history for a few reasons, but follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. Go to the YouTube page and look at a lot of stuff that we've done, fights that have not, been seen yet. I got an archive full of new stuff. So we're going to definitely start putting out, new fight footage that has never been seen before out of the archives, because BYB was the next phase of evolution for backyard fighting, so there's no sense in holding on to it anymore. So we're going to start putting out a lot of new fight footage, to entertain the people. And, man, I just thank God, for creating opportunities and outlets, for individuals, to continue to have a voice. Thank you guys for having me on board. Don't blink. Get your popcorn early. Use the bathroom because this is going to be a shout night in the office come February 19th at Bellator 149.